Pop Lady Live, and also Phoebe Waller-Bridge of Fleabag. I don't know if you've seen Fleabag yet,
but she have a TV.
hosts. Oh my God, you need to get it. Watch it on your phone.
I don't know. I like being dumb.
Do you not watch a lot of television?
No, I don't have a TV at all.
Oh.
I just sit in silence and I drink water and I think about myself.
Right. I mean, you're a true blue stand-up. This is the problem with stand-ups, though. You guys don't have hobbies.
No, and I need a hobby that isn't drinking, so I've been learning Spanish.
Oh, that's right. Maybe that's why I even thought of that, because I remember your post.
Yeah.
But it's so true. Unless it's except for like watching professional wrestling, like I feel like most comics. But that's why you guys. I mean, you guys are workhorses. You know what I mean? And part of that is being what you were just talking about, introspective and everything like that.
Thinking about my life, and I was just really depressed for many years, and I would just be like, I'm still watching, and then Netflix was just playing all day, and I'm like, what do I do?
Oh, okay, so you had to pull back. That's different.
Yeah, I was like, I could have learned a new language, a new skill, a new hobby, but instead I just watched The Simpsons, like the whole thing.
Right, the whole, and that's kind of a little bit of my problem. I mean, what I did was, this is maybe the brighter side of having that kind of addiction, though. It's harder to do, I think, with a Netflix binging addiction, but turned my addiction, my hobby addiction, into my work.
Hey, with this beautiful TV.
Yeah, with this crazy whole thing, right? With the whole situation. Can you say something to us in Spanish?
Un poquito hablo español.
You do not speak a lot of Spanish.
That's it.
Yes, I took a little bit, and I was terrible at it in high school. So for me, last cool thing was doing SNL. Some other cool things on the rise. I think we might be, Page 7 and Wiz and the Bruiser, I think, are going to do a live show in LA in December. So I hope that you're there for that. Will you be in December?
I will be there.
Early December in LA?
Why not?
That would be great to hang. And
I got laid the other night.
you got laid the other night? That's crazy.
Yeah, I went to a bar in New York City and I found a man. And it's all about putting it out in the universe.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like, God, I want to have sex with a very nice man.
With a nice one this time. Not one of those garbagey ones.
Not an asshole. And we went back to this place and then boned to like Leonard Skinner, like Southern Rock, because he's from Georgia. And I was like, I love Southern Rock. And we just like boned to Southern Rock.
That's great. That's
great.
so good. And Lover, though. You said you also to Lover, the song, Taylor Swift song.
Oh, did I?
Oh, no, it was to Simple Man. I thought we were talking about Lover. I get so confused so easily. I just want everyone to make love to the song Lover. Okay. You can still find minute bars, Asmobo?
Amber found a pussy jam.
She found the pussy jam that Ronnie Dykes, I think, was searching for. So that's really amazing.
That's good. Put it out in the universe, and God responds. And he's like, I'll find you a dice dick.
You know what? I said the same thing at the beginning of this year, and instead of like a resolution, I mean, it's like if you're gonna do a resolution, you know what? I'm changing my tune on this. Do a resolution, but make it a fun one. So at the beginning of this year, I said I want to travel more and I want to go to more concerts.
Wonderful.
Because 2018 was like my hermit year. I was like home, just playing video games, loving life, but like living on my own schedule, not, I think I was just so worn out from being pulled this way and that all over the city for so long, having like the day job on top of all the other stuff, and then finally I was able to like not leave the house as much as possible.
Well, working in an office, I would rather put a gun to my mouth.
And that's where I got to. That is where I got to, and it was very, very troubling. Yeah. And so I had to like get out of that. But what was I gonna say? I was gonna say this. With all of these great things going on, and yes, I did get to travel more. I went to New Orleans this year, which was fucking amazing.
What'd you do in New Orleans?
We went on like a little mini honeymoon.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really lovely, and
Did you go to the French Quarter?
Oh yeah, we stayed in the French Quarter. We hung out at Frenchman Street a lot, which is where all the music. Yeah. Good music. It's kind of the way to get like just a little outside of the bullshit and like enjoy and a little more like it's just bands and stuff. But
I was in New Orleans and I was staying in my brother's attic and a woman was murdered in that attic.
Yeah, I bet she was.
And then I was
one of the most haunted places I've ever been.
It's crazy.
And I'm not like a spooky haunted guy. Like that place is fucking haunted.
So I walked in the room and I was like, all right, I'm a visitor. I'm just going to play good music and I'll be out of your hair. I'm not living here.
Yeah.
And so nobody bothered me. But then one day I was packing up my purse for the day and I was like, all right, I forgot a woman was murdered in here. And the door that was open just slammed shut.
Yeah.
She was just like reminding me. And I was like, I'm sorry, I won't forget that you died.
Right. You do need to, it's like, it's not just about being low key. Like there is a kind of a purpose.
Yeah, she was chained to the wall and suffocated and starved to death. Wow. Speaking of intermediate fasting.
Yeah, so there you go. She had her own little intermittent fasting. So I guess my like gripe or grump would just be that this has been also, while all this amazing stuff's been going on, you have to balance do you believe in the balancing kind of thing?
Absolutely.
I really believe in it too. And this whole year is also weirdly, as much as it's been the year of like excitement and great evenings and success in my career stuff happening, there's also, it's been the year of death, and there's been so much death. Of course, Luger, the biggest one, Kevin, but then also, you know, my grandmother, my aunt, my parents' dog, and I don't know, the brighter side, I got to know them. Well, I loved them while they were alive, all of them.
How'd the dog die? Was it like, I miss Holden? It
was kind of like, yeah, he said, Iris Rolden, and then just literally just, no, it was, I think
he didn't love him enough.
I think please, Bitsy, died. I think she had like heart stuff or whatever. I mean, the brighter side of that is my parents had 2 dogs. But here's a crazy concept too, though, was the idea of like, I was talking to my brother, and after he had talked to them, he was like, they're, what was I going to say? They're like, pretty much know that like this last dog they have, though, will be their last dog. Really? Which, isn't that a wild concept?
They're not going to get another dog?
Well, they're much older, and this other dog's still alive and is young. So assuming the dog lasts a while, isn't that an odd feeling when you're that old that you're like, oh, this will be my last car? This will be my last, like, kind of knowing those things a little bit. You know what I mean?
I don't think I would do that. I think I would just be like, keep it on going on.
Keep it on going on. Get a new car every other week just to make sure it's not your last one.
Yeah, and then one day the lights go out.
Do you have anything that you have a grump or a grimp to talk about before we get into chat's grimpy grumps?
A grump or a grimp?
And chat, get your grimp grumps ready. Get your things to find the brighter side of. That's the name of the game for Brighter Side Live. Whatever you got going on in your life, whether it's big, whether it's small, if your fucking bullshit's dying, or if it's just that you stubbed your toe, we just want to try to find the brighter side of it in a humorous and fun manner with Brighter Side podcast co-host Amber Nelson, please.
A gripe, I would say, is people being very judgmental.
Ooh.
And I feel like I can feel it. You know,
anything
specific? Sense it.
Yeah. Do you feel it from chat right now? Do you think they're judging you?
No. Like judging me. I was in Woodstock and we were at a bar, and I just felt like these kind of basic people were just being very judgmental, very like, what are they doing in here?
Right.
And I'm like, there's no. Why are you judgmental? You know,
well, we were just talking about what the weirdness I've gone through since I became a Taylor Swift fan. And also, like, I just started being like, oh, I have enough money now. I don't have a lot of money now, but I have enough money to get, like, fun t-shirts and stuff. And so I got, like, this ICP t-shirt with
love it.
Yeah. But I, like, have a moment when I put it on, like that or a Taylor Swift t-shirt. I have 3 Taylor Swift t-shirts. Right before I leave the apartment, I'm just like, I'm like, should I wear this today? Do I want to deal with any sort of anyone? Yeah, like
people
giving
hate Taylor Swift.
Yes, which we don't need to get into that because I just feel like we're gonna receive it somehow in chat. I am a big fan of her and Beyonce and a lot of other people. I'm big fans of all those people. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
And I don't have a fucking dog in any sort of political fight.
Oh, I got 20 dogs.
I know, I'm just kidding, but I'm like trying. Well, I want to show you this essay that I read. I talked about it on Wizard and the Bruiser Patreon. Check out an essay. Thank you, Momo. Check out an essay. It's called The Iron Internet, and it's by Gia Tolentino. And it's in a book of essays called Trick Mirror, which I think you'd be really into because I'm just reading this other essay she wrote right now about like female heroines and a breakdown of like the difference between like the male hero story in so much of literature is the man setting out to achieve some great goal or something. And so many of the heroines' roles are
thrown in a situation you don't want to be there.
Thrown in a situation you don't want to be in, and you're stuck in it, and you can't leave, and you can't go anywhere, and it's just you dealing with it, and like, you know, and like ascending out of it sort of, but like you don't have a journey. You're just stuck in a marriage that you hate and stuck. Yeah. And there's like so many, and it breaks it down all the way up to like current day, and even it's really cool. But the article I really loved, it was called The Iron Internet. Just check it out, and it's essentially a breakdown of how we got from the early stages of the internet to what social media is now, which is largely founded on your personality solely being about what you are against. Period.
Negativity.
It's all opposition. It's about what you don't like, what you're not about maybe what you love or just different. It doesn't have to be about what you like or don't like. There's other elements of your personality that can be shared and spread, but those are all
what's hitting.
Yeah.
And people are very negative, and I notice they don't have a positivity towards the future.
Yes.
It's all like grim despair that's coming up. And I think it's because you go on this little box right here.
Yes.
And then everything's just like, fuck this,
you have to read this essay.
Negative.
You will love this essay.
Okay.
It really helped me just gain a grasp on all of these things I've been battling with this year when it comes to that. And when it comes to, especially as I am on the lowest fucking echelon of it, but having a little bit of a, a decent following, a decent this and that.
Yeah.
When the higher it goes, the bigger, the louder, the meaner it gets. And it's just crazy to see. And just, everybody who, like, right now, even as if you're a comic, if you're a blogger, whatever, the angriest, fucking loudest ones are the ones that are getting, like, the most attention, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
And by the way, and this is the thing, and this all came out of the recent SNL bullshit, which we don't need to get into, but essentially I was driven to read this essay because I was like, well, I have a nuanced opinion about this, and every opinion I'm reading is either black or white, is either this or that. Fully. And I'm like, am I the only fucking person that has a nuanced... But if I wrote my nuanced opinion online, which I never fucking do...
People would take you down and get you fired.
Worst of both worlds.
Yeah.
Worst of both worlds. Because now the people who I say, well, I kind of agree with these guys, they go, well, fuck you then. And then me being like, well, I kind of agree with you guys. And then the other side's, well, fuck you. You know what I mean?
It's a
nightmare.
lot. Just live in your cave with your 40 dogs.
There you go. So I think the brighter side for Judgment is that you can totally just, it's like gaining ascension through nirvana, especially on social media.
Oh.
You can just leave the group. You can just, like, step away from the conversation and do your thing and know that stuff has no bearing on the actual real world around you and real human people. Because when you're on the box, you think everything's one way, but when you actually go out into the world and interact with people, you're like, oh, people aren't really like this.
No.
This is just this weird swirl of angry voices from all over the place that are just, like, not even who they are in the day-to-day world.
It's just porn and screaming.
Yeah, it's just porn and screaming. But God bless the whole porn part. All right, so I see we've got some gripes and grumps coming in.
I left Facebook and life is better now. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
And unfortunately for me...
You have to do
and
a little
you,
bit, yeah.
You've got to be on. I mean, you have to be on there a little bit because you've got to let people know Brighter Side Live is streaming, currently, and you have to know, you know what I mean. And I would say just, like, stick to Instagram. That's kind of my thing.
Just pictures of puppies.
Instagram is by far of the big four or whatever, like, the most positive place to be. So just maybe go hang out there and try not to be involved. So let's start with Eeyore of Twitch. My mental health is a grump. But I'm looking into and going to start doing TMS treatments. Is that what? TMS treatments soon, hopefully. Also, dating in your 30s fucking sucks ass. Yes, absolutely.
It does. Yes, it does.
Can you speak towards dating in your? And also, what's the TMS? What's TMS?
Too much shenanigans.
that is a good treatment. I like that treatment. The brighter side of dating in your 30s, maybe if you want to expound on what you think Jen, aka Eeyore of Twitch, is getting towards.
Well, dating in your 30s, it's a lot of people who are broken. It is like mending all the broken people.
There's a element in the back of your head, there's a reason why you're... And what about dating what's your cutoff for age, dating-wise?
Thousands. In your 1,000. I don't know, I'd say 80s?
Oh, no, I meant young. What is the oldest dick you fucked?
I don't know, the youngest dick I fucked, he's 25, and he had to get fired from Lyft for drinking and driving.
Oh, well.
So that's crazy.
Yeah. So he is broken. 25, I feel like that's okay. I feel like it's when it gets into... 22? 22, I think, is when you're like, you are... Yeah, if you're in your 30s. And by the way, love can exist in so many different ways.
Yeah.
It's totally possible for a 22-year-old and a fucking 40-year-old to get down.
But it's usually men that want to date 22-year-olds because they want to manipulate them. And I live in Los Angeles, and men who are older than me call me an older woman. And I'm like, but you're older than me.
That's the most LA thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. And I tell them my age, and they go, ugh, and they like really look judgmental. Again, I'm like, you mean to shoot myself on the head when I'm 30? What do you expect? And they all want to date 23-year-olds because they give them a bunch of shit, and the 23-year-olds will take it.
Right.
LA's not great, and the men there are really mean. They're so mean.
Yeah, and it's tough in a big city with a lot of... I mean, I will say, too, like, especially for women... I feel like if you're at all intimidated by looks and stuff, there's so many fucking hot ass chicks
so you
in
just
LA.
Down the line and pick them.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
And it's like and to the point where you're like, you're also though, what I like about New York is they're amazing. There's so many beautiful people in New York, but it's this kind of beautiful and that kind of beautiful.
Different beautiful.
Yeah, whereas I feel like there's such a standard.
All the same beautiful.
Yeah.
I blew a guy in Los Angeles, and then I was like, now my turn? And he was like, no, that's not how my brain works.
What? It's not how your brain works.
This is not how I work. And then he got mad at me, and he was just like, this is over. We're over. And I'm just because I was like,
you know what?
I'm a human being.
I hate to say this, but maybe the lesson learned is just get yours first.
I think so.
Yeah,
it's got to blow a guy.
Or just stop blowing guys as a punishment to that one guy, punished every other guy for the rest of time. I don't think I'll ever get to a point, says Time Machine Keeper, where I have a last dog. I'm gonna be that old dude with a small dog like the dudes on the South Side, and then it's the dog that mourns you.
Oh, it's all like, I'm so sad they're dead. It'll eat your face.
Holden and Amber, what's the brighter side of missing the last round table? That's my Grimp Grump, says Roddy Dykes. Are you talking about thing we did at Lugerfest, where we got on stage? We just talked for a little bit. It wasn't like a huge thing. Thank you so much for the resubbed Skeleton Boyfriend. But it was a really cool moment. I do wish they could film it, but at the same time, I am a believer in moments that aren't captured.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get...
Remember it.
Yeah. Like, I didn't get a lot of, like, pictures of, like, going back to the SNL after party thing. Like, I really intentionally was like, oh, this is just, like, be here.
Yeah.
In this moment.
Enjoy
it. Also, like, I didn't want to get in trouble for, like, taking pictures of celebrities, because it was literally, like, a fucking thick room full of celebrities.
You get kicked out.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's something about, like, precious moments where you're like, I'm anti-camera a little bit. You know what I mean?
Last week I went to an African wedding, and they were doing all these ceremonies, and I was like, this is really cool, but I'm not taking pictures of it, because I don't want to be the one. I was the one white friend in the corner, like, come on, keep doing your thing. You know?
Keep doing your thing. Oh, my God.
I just kind of sat and enjoyed it.
What else?
Moved 2,000 miles and started a new career. Still a lot in the air, but very happy with the choice. Don't need a brighter side, but Holden and Ed encouraged me to take a big chance, so thanks.
Yeah, and I remember that. Yeah, that was one of those things where we definitely pushed. I mean, I'm always going to push for people to...
Follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams. Make that leap. Make an educated leap. But if you have a dream, at some point you're going to have to make a leap.
I don't know, my friend that I just visited, she was like, I just want to live out of my car and make art. And I was like, you're in upstate New York. You're going to die.
You gotta have some kind of basis. I wonder how old is she?
She's probably like late 30s.
Oh, wow, and she still doesn't want any kind of creature comforts?
No, she's just like, I just want to bathe in the river.
Oh, God. For me, I feel like I hit my 30s. I'm like, no, I want like a comfortable living space. And like, I want like, I you know, and I have to start treating my body better. And I need to like, but I want central air conditioning. And I want, you know what I mean? Like
a door I can lock.
A door I can lock. And I want like a,
she said her happiest was when she was bathing in the river and sleeping out of her car.
Oh, my God. See, I would just, my back. Like basic shit, my back would give out of me if I even tried. I do have a dude I was friends with in high school, and he like met this lover who's like he's like plays like folk guitar, and she's like yoga and whatever, and they insulated this van, and there was this whole project so they could just like travel around the country, and I'm just watching that, and I'm like, that would suck.
Yeah.
I don't want to just like, at points it would be like this is an amazing view or whatever, but like I'm just like, give me a bed and a fucking delicious meal any day. But either way, I mean, I am what I am.
You don't want to just bathe in the river?
I would totally bathe in a river.
But every day?
Yeah, exactly. Every fucking day? No. I want to shower. I want soap. I want, you know what I mean? All right, trying to catch up here with chat. If we missed yours, please post it back in. The anger of the internet has driven me from most of my old sites. Now I feel like I am more boring, but happier not participating.
I don't think you're more boring. No. If anything, you're more boring when all you talk about is like woke.
Yeah. Like all you have to talk about is this. When people do like say memes out loud.
Oh my God. Yeah.
How weird and bad it sounds. And you're like, oh, there's such a disconnect. You know what I mean?
People say it as jokes on stage. And I'm just like, that was a meme.
Yeah.
You stole it.
And it sounds weird when you say it out loud and not in a good weird. It sounds bad. Gripe is dealing with shitty professors. Have you ever dealt with a shitty professor? That's from Orn Ribeye. Shitty professors.
I had some, you know what? I had a teacher one time years ago, and it was for, you're going to get class queen or something. And it was if you've never missed a class. So me and 2 other girls, we went and hid in the closet while they all voted to see who the class queen was. And then I got out of the closet with the girls, and they were like, this other girl won. And he looks at me and he says, Amber, no one voted for you.
Ugh.
Why?
Why say that?
And I was in 7th grade too, a little girl.
Worst, by the way, was middle school not some of the worst years of your life?
And I moved every year.
Oh my God, okay, you beat me. And so, I stayed, I was in the same, well, I will say at least moving, you have a chance of meeting someone else to make out with, whereas if you're in a graduating class of 90 people and you're there from 5th grade to 12th grade, and they find you unfuckable in 5th grade.
You shit your pants once in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
And now you can't get laid in high school.
Not even 5th grade, no one's thinking about who's fuckable, but by 7th grade, people are thinking about who's fuckable. And if you are deemed completely unfuckable, that's a hard car to turn around, especially when you only get like 1 or 2 new girls every year, and they're immediately going to get indoctrinated like, hey, okay, those are the fuckable ones, that's the unfuckable ones. The brighter side, by the way, shitty professors for me, you know, I've had such weird experiences with professors that I at one point. No, I am from North Carolina. And Amber, you are Louisiana.
But I moved Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, then Louisiana, and I was born in Saudi Arabia. So whenever I would tell people, they're like, where are you born? They hated me.
Yeah.
They hated it. I don't know.
Oh, you were born where like all the villains and all the action movies I watch were born. So for me, I think one story for me that maybe will, my seminar class sucks so much right now. Thank y'all. No problem. If you care to elaborate on your shitty professor, we'll come back to it. And I will just say I have one, I guess, slightly positive story about a shitty professor. I was kicked out of the acting program at Florida State University, and one of the main people who kicked me out later went on to direct my first short play, you know? So sometimes
you reconnect.
Yeah, sometimes you reconnect, and sometimes, you know, maybe it was for the best. And as difficult and as heartbroken as I was to get kicked out of the acting program, looking back on it, it was the best possible thing that could have happened.
Why'd you get kicked out?
You know, we just didn't click. I've talked about this before, but essentially they were trying to mold, I feel. First of all, I was really awkward and really just shy. I'm really bad with authority, period. I mean, hence why I'm doing this, right? Like, you know, my bosses are like some of my closest friends, right? With the Last Podcast guys, right? It's so weird that it's like, oh yeah, right, I guess they're my bosses. You know what I mean? But it's like so vague, that
you
connection.
Call Henry sir?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. When I pick up the phone with Henry, it's hey fucker, you know what I mean? And that's the only way I could have a boss, right? Yeah. And Twitch, obviously, this is my own making or whatever, right? So that's all on me. But, what, you know, so there's that. So I have to say on my end, like, I did not do anything to help me stay in other than working really hard. I did work really hard to stay in, but just, I think we just clashed attitude-wise, and they were really trying to mold, like, muscular leading men, you know what I mean? Very, like, clean, you know, and method acting and stuff. And, I mean, at the end of the day, I was a character actor. And they were not doing anything when it came to that sort of thing, right? Like a comedic character actor. Like, it just wasn't a good fit for me. And what was a good fit was just being BA theater and taking screenwriting classes with Mark Medoff, who, the late, great Mark Medoff. Did he also pass away this year? It was either this year or last year. He was one of the best teachers I ever had. Big supporter of Murder Fist in the early days. And he won an Oscar, I believe, and a Tony for Children of a Lesser God. That was what he wrote. And he was amazing teacher. And I never would have gotten to take that class if I hadn't gotten kicked out. I don't think Murder Fist might not have ever happened if I didn't get kicked out. The very night I got kicked out of the acting program for good, I went and did an improv show with John Moreno, co-founder of Murder Fist, and like the rest was history. So... And I don't think that would have been as impactful of an evening if I hadn't been kicked out of the acting program. Because it was like I got one of the worst defeats ever and then went and crushed in this room. And I was like, oh, why haven't I just been doing this the whole time? This is what I want to do. This is what's fun. But I was convincing myself that I needed to be this like actor if I was going to like be professional. Because no one tells you, time and time again when I listen to interviews with comedians, no one tells you, like everyone says the same thing. Like, I didn't even think it was possible to be stand-up.
Because you have like a script of life that you have to follow.
Yeah.
And you're like, but I don't like this. Like, there's some venues in Los Angeles, I won't name them, but people are like, if you want to be successful at comedy, you gotta hang out here.
You gotta get through here. You gotta get
like
the
store
places. Or whatever. Yeah. Like,
I don't like the feeling there. I don't like the people there.
Right.
So I don't go.
Right. Not necessarily the store, but I'm just saying one of those. That's a good example. Or you see, or when you come to New York, well, if you're gonna get on SNL, you have to get past it. You gotta get on a UCB house team, and it's just like.
And it's also weird that people who do not like authority are punished.
Yes.
Early on,
and most stand-ups do not get on well with authority.
No.
I definitely don't get on well with authority, and you're immediately like, you know what I mean?
School just teaches you to sit down, shut up, behave, listen.
And
it's just what everybody, people grow up like that, just sitting in offices and sitting down all day and be like, well, they told me I gotta do this.
That's why I ended up in offices for years, because like my parents were like, well, you have to, if you're gonna pursue this, you have to do this. And it's like, I should have just left college early, slept on couches and starved. Because like the only moments that greatness happens out of, in my opinion, at least for me in my life, are in moments of great desperation. The way that all this came to be, the podcast, everything, was 2016 year, and stop me if you've heard this one, Chad, I know you've heard this a million times. 2016 was my year of desperate, like my year of just like, no one's gonna fucking pick up the phone and call you and give you a job, dude. You need to fucking figure this out.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna die in that office. You know what I mean? And so every waking moment of my day that's why I always say to people, like, don't get a job that's like too comfortable if you have a dream.
Yeah.
Like, you want to kind of be miserable at all times at your job.
So you can push yourself.
Yeah, if you're kind of comfortable and you also have a dream, chances are lesser that it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because you have to kind of go with something that absolutely fucking sucks.
Although I'm a bartender and I do enjoy it. And I think, because I like being up, I like talking to people. And I'm up for like 6 hours. It's a great workout. I have engaging conversations. So yeah, I think I would keep doing that. I don't know. Brighter side of not having a dream.
Well, you don't have to have an awful, uncomfortable, you don't have to be miserable for like most of your early life necessarily. You could just like have a job, like have a family. I don't know.
Have a child. That's beautiful.
It's honestly great, and you can support other people's dream. The brighter side of having to start paying back your student loans and being told you have to pay over $200 a month, even though your income hasn't increased since graduating. Student loans, I feel like, is the worst thing affecting our country right now.
It is.
And that's why I am running for governor of Astoria. Can you run for governor of Astoria?
Why not?
Why not? No student loans. If I could wipe obviously it's healthcare and the college situation. I just talked about leaving college early. I just feel like if someone asked me, especially if they were trying to get into comedy or something, I will say I met all the Murder Fist guys in college, and it was more about like those connections that I made, and getting to really getting to live a little bit more like less fucking freaked out about like your economic situation, and being able to put up that play and do these different projects and stuff.
Start your life. Live your life and not have to like shell out money.
Yeah.
It's indentured servitude.
Yeah, it's fucking gross, and I'm so sorry you're going through that, Momo. I will at least say, hopefully there's an endpoint, and hopefully this will slightly get resolved at some point too.
Shoot up the government.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. The brighter side. That's the the magnetic pulses in the brain thing. The transdermal magnet treatments. That is the treatment that your Twitch has been getting. Very interesting. I'm 25. Would you date me? Asked the Square Knot.
Let's do it.
All right.
Square Knot.
Which is better for mental health, whiskey or meditation? I'm gonna unfortunately say meditation. I've been meditating now every day for like 15 minutes. It's been very helpful.
Yeah.
Do you do it at all?
Sometimes just sit and think.
Yeah. Well, it's different.
No?
This is the difference. Yeah. So it's the opposite of that.
So you don't think.
So what you do, you're trying to like not think.
Okay.
So what you do is you sit down. There's all different ways to do it. But my basic way of doing it is I just sit down and I just focus on the breath. This is like the simple way. Focus on the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And every time you catch your mind drifting away from that, which is going to happen especially at first on the fucking constant, you go, okay, I accept that I've had those thoughts, but we're going back to the breath. And it's more about trying to get your brain to just be on the breath and not have all these thoughts. right? And
on the bus ride coming down, I was just looking at all the pretty trees.
See, that's nice.
Breathing.
That's nice.
No headphones. I forgot to bring them.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be such like a blessing to not like to forget something fundamental like headphones or someone accidentally took my headphones for a week. And I was forced to I go on runs like 3 days a week and whatever. And I was like, fuck, I can't listen to my podcast or whatever. And those were like, I would always come home from one of those runs being like with some revelation. You know what I mean? Like one of which, a great example was, I realized how upset I was about signs when it first happened. This was back when it first happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, why aren't you doing anything? And I was like running and I was just like realizing how upset I was. And I literally started like tear up and stuff. And then I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I did like a fundraiser stream and we raised like a bunch of money for him for his GoFundMe.
That's great.
You know what I mean? And that all, if I had headphones on, that might have never happened.
No, you just listen to T-Swift.
Yep. Just don't. Well, actually, I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I'm starting to feel like maybe I should get back into listening to music on my runs. We'll see. We digress.
Screams.
Ah! Yeah, you just... Just sounds of a haunted house. Oh, creak, creak, creak. Bats flying by.
Small town, and basically spent my entire childhood being bullied for being gay. I've been out of high school for almost 4 years now, and I still have regular nightmares about it. But the bright side is until I've been able to flourish as a painter and a gay man.
Now that I'm in uni, which is university in ye old. Where are you from in England, a skeleton boyfriend? In uni, I've been able to flourish as a painter and a gay man and found so much support in the art LGBT community. Also, the whole Last Pod Network was probably the sole thing that got me through senior year of high school. So thanks, guys.
No,
that's so sweet.
Interesting because you were bullied.
Yeah, honestly, to be, at least now that you're past it, because no one, I would wish it on no one. But now that you're past it, you're so much more of a dynamic, competent. I mean, the brighter side is definitely like the people who just live their lives with like very little issue. They're very boring people, and they don't create good art. And I think that for you have more of a story to tell, and you can let that story flow through your paintings and your work and hopefully inspire other people who might be going through the same thing that you went through and help them out. So you're way more important to the world than definitely the bully fucks that gave you shit and even people who just had it nice.
I was talking to this girl in LA and she was like, I love my family and I can't wait to go see them again. I just love my hometown. And I was like, what are you doing? Get out of here. LA's for broken people.
I have a friend who she's the best. We laugh a lot and have a great time, and we went to school together. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned middle school was some of the worst years of my life. At one point we were hanging out in New York. She was just like, middle school was like, I look back and it was just like the best times in my life. And if you, she's doing really well, and I do really love her to death, but if you peak, can you imagine the opposite, skeleton boyfriend, that you peaked in middle or high school?
My cousin always said that he peaked in middle school.
Oh.
But he's also a pedophile who's going to prison.
Oh, okay. Well, that's completely different. I mean, that's the brighter side of your dog liquid shitting on your carpet at least once a week for the past 2 months, and the vet's not having a solution for it. Are you a pet owner, Amber?
No, my roommate has a dog, and liquid diarrhea. Well, then keep it outside, I guess.
But what's the brighter side of getting liquid diarrhea shits all over?
It brings you closer to your dog. Your dog's probably like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. And then,
If you have an enemy, maybe you could, squeeze it at the enemy a little bit, which would be fun.
You could save it. Remember when somebody took a shit in the bathtub? Remember that? That was a thing.
Yes, the Who Shat in the Bathtub roundtable controversy. Put your guesses in chat. I think it was actually, the more I think about it, I think it was roommate Mike. But, that's because I can't handle the idea that it could be Lexi or I. So, but I feel like I think you're in the shower, you're super hungover, you have a shart.
Yeah.
Everyone in that apartment was hungover every day, right? Pretty much. I mean, you can kind of set your watch by it. Yeah. And everybody thinks it's Ben. But the problem with Ben is he was not in the apartment. That's the problem. He's just like, I wasn't there. Everyone thinks I did it. I was not there. LA is incredibly superficial. But on the flip side, you can find almost any type of hookup dating situation you want if you look hard enough. It is true. It's free gay. LA is free gay.
Oh, hookup situations?
Oh, yeah. If you want to be like a third or whatever, go for it.
My friends just go to sex parties all the time.
Yeah.
And they invited me
I couldn't
to go.
imagine. Did you ever go to one?
No, I don't want to see. I just straight up told them, I was like, I'm sorry, you're my friends. I don't want to see you have sex.
Yeah. First of all, there's that. Second of all, I would definitely just be total. I'm way too vanilla for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just so fucking vanilla.
Yeah. Can we just like have connection and be nice to each other?
My kink is wear high heels. That's
you
my
like
kink.
heels.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh man.
So simple.
I feel like once you start down the kink path, it never stops. And then now you're
Yeah.
just like, I need to be hung upside down. And
I read this one story about this guy who was really into, it was like on Reddit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I found this tale that this guy wove for me, but he was talking about how at first he was really into like blowjob porn. And then he would happen upon blowjob porn, which had like gagging elements to it. And then that sort of became his kink. And lo and behold, before he knew it, he was into full-on, like, vom all over the dick porn. And it was just this, like, slippery slope of kinkdom. And I'm just like, ooh, I just don't want to be into that.
That's horrible. My friend is a journalist, and he went to a sex robot museum.
Oh, okay.
And he said that men were just so angry with the dolls and, like,
Why?
punching the
Oh,
dolls.
weird, yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
why?
Oh, that whole thing, too. Yeah, just, like, or being at all one. But I don't want to, we have no kink shaming.
Yeah, no, none of that.
But
the men were just so angry. I'm like, I think it's because of porn, and they just watch hours of women getting like beaten.
I think you could definitely make some cases for what the profundity of pornography on the internet has done to culture. Problem is, I cannot speak at all towards that. And the moment you sort of start talking negatively about any of this stuff, is I was talking about how the fact that as a normal porn watcher, and we can get off porn soon, but not to belabor it, but as a regular porn, like online porn watcher, it's kind of like how Twitter's forced us to be oppositional. In Pornhub, it's forcing you to pick between two things: little girl or MILF.
You, yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like stepmom seduces boy, or and it's interesting. I was listening to a podcast with a guy who was studying it, and he said that like women in their like early 30s can't get work. You have to either be little girl looking or MILF territory.
That's crazy.
It's so weird, and it's just this natural divide that like these search algorithms have forced upon the normal porn watcher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean like average porn watcher, and then put into this weird way where even I am like, well, I guess I'm watching this MILF vid, even though that's not like my kink or anything. I'm just like, this is what's happening.
That's it.
Anyways, all right, we'll get off it.
I hate it.
Oh yeah, it's the worst.
Straight porn is violent, and it's making men more violent. All right, we'll continue.
Oh, totally, dude. I would actually talk about like wanting to read like an essay or a breakdown of that. Like I need to study more about that because I agree. I'm kind of right there with you. Someone who defo isn't me is selling bootleg laserdiscs on the dark web. Ooh. What? Oh, you're talking about something else. I thought that was like a brighter side thing. I keep getting matched. This is the dating in the 30s going back to era of Twitch. I keep getting matched with California 10s, and I've even got a few messages where they started the combo, but then they move on before you can get an answer. Dude, online dating is just
Don't do it.
It's and honestly, and if you do it, it's an issue of numbers. It's down to numbers. It's just like if you just do it for long enough and whatever, you'll eventually get some kind of dumbass date out of it. But I think it's good for if you're squeamish about dating and you're just trying to get the ball rolling, do it for a bit until you kind of get the confidence, okay, now I remember, because flirting is kind of an art form. Dating is almost its own weird little, at least there's its own little approach to it.
A way to get back out there.
It's just a way to get back out there or just get out there at all, period.
I went on...
but get off of it as soon as you can.
Yes, I got off of it whenever this guy was like, let's go on a date. And then I couldn't. I was like, I'm sorry, my friend died. I can't... It was... Yeah, I
think I remember this story.
And then, and he's like, tomorrow night? And I was like, I'm sorry, my good friend died. And he said, you just said your friend. You didn't say your good friend. You're a liar.
What a fucking turd.
And then he showed me pictures of this other naked woman. And he was like, this is you. Like, he's trying to blackmail me in a weird way.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, what a fuck.
Weird. It was a different naked woman?
Yeah.
And you would just be like, oh, that must be me.
I don't know what he thought.
Just
How
thought you're
dumb
like
he thought.
a Muppet or something. All right. Be Cool Honey Bunny says, the brighter side of dating in your 30s is that when you do meet the right quote-unquote person, you are more emotionally mature and can have a more healthy relationship.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, fights are just a little bit more
Manageable.
resolvable. Like, yeah.
You know who you are.
Yeah, I think, brighter side from Tony the Hedge. Brighter side of being the least favorite child, even though I'm the only one who hasn't been to jail. Man, really? I just wear a t-shirt, just be like, I'm the only one that has not yet been to jail. Like, at every family get-together, I would just wear...
Yeah, they're probably jealous of you, to be honest, your family. That's why they're the least favorite.
Have the parents also been to jail? Because it might be one of those where it's like, oh, like, apple doesn't fall far, like, father like son, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, they kind of, like, love that they went to jail. I would say that your brighter side is you haven't been to jail. Yay. So fucking who gives a shit about your dumbass family? Because you didn't have to be locked up behind bars, miserable, which super blows. Brighter side from Time Machine Keeper of being poor as shit and living with your dad again at 25 while worrying all your creative dreams are fading away.
25 is very young.
Yes.
So young. So go save up money and then move out. You'll be out of here in a year.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Agreed. You're young. I feel no sympathy towards you. You're so young. My shit didn't for reference, shit didn't really get rolling for me until I was 34 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
I've been broke and struggling with a day job while also busting my ass and didn't even get to the point. And I'm on like the lowest rung of whatever you would call like a career, you know what I mean? Like I'm not like fucking, you know, I'm not last podcast in the left.
I didn't eat for 3 days one time.
Oh my God,
all my money went to bills and Subway, and then I was like, oh, food.
Yeah, and not the sandwiches, the Subway rides.
Subway rides.
So yeah. Ugh, just brutal. Oh, Ed's here. Eddie Tunes in chat.
Eddie.
Hi, Ed.
Hey,
Amber's doing fucking awesome, and this has been super fun. We've still got some time left. Let's try to bang through these. I can't find a dog/house sitter for the weekend of my brother's wedding. I even joined the Rover app and have gotten 6 rejections.
Oh, well,
jeez.
Maybe could you leave your dog alone just for the weekend or get a friend over?
Yeah.
Bring a dog with you. Bring a dog to the wedding.
Jen, to clarify what TMS or transdermal magnet treatment is, it's magnets on your brain and it's loud and kills the depression by dulling certain brain receptors. Do you think it's working? That sounds amazing. I've never heard of that before. Brighter side of having no social life from SOT because you work and go to school. I mean, you're
working. You're saving money, so you will have more of a social life when you're in your 30s. You'll be a more rounded person who knows what they want, because you can always tell the kind of people that partied and blew away their 20s because they're poor and not interesting and whatever.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Also, Time Machine Keeper. Oh, also, I'm a trans person, so 27 is like middle ages for me. Interesting. I had to blow my chemistry teacher to pass this. Ryan Dykes, you're full of shit. Ronnie Dykes. That's I don't know if you remember. That's a Round Table reference. Yeah. Let's see. Oh man, I'm and my colleagues dealing with a horrible professor in my conservatory right now, and it's been terrible.
Oh, how are they bad? They making you work real hard?
Yeah. Or they're just fuckers.
Well, you're going to be gone in a couple months or weeks or whatever. Then they'll be out of your life forever.
There it is. There's the brighter side. Be cool, honey bunny. I need a brighter side. I found out a man at my work in a similar level of responsibility makes 5 times as much as me. As a woman, I'm aware of the wage gap, but I didn't expect to make 20 cents on the dollar. This is the fucking bullshit with the office, okay? Never listen to them when they say don't talk about how much money you make with other coworkers.
That's the rule they made.
That's the rule they created to fucking fuck with everybody. So it's good that the brighter side is that you found that information out and that you can take that to your employers and you can fucking throw it down.
Also, HR isn't there for you. They're there for the company.
Yes, so always remember that.
Yeah,
no one is on your team.
Nobody is. You're on your own team.
You're on your team.
Bring a gun to work.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. LAMPDL, brighter side of having a job you love, but your only counterpart at work is uber manipulative, underhanded. I hate fucking jobs, dude. No. This is the shit you have to deal with. They make you hide in secrecy about how much you make so they can deceive you. You have some fucking fuckface. Dude, I had 8 of those in my head just popped up. You know what I mean? It's like office culture. You have to remember, office culture is just high school all over again.
Ew.
Just in suits.
I hate offices.
It's fucking horrid.
You have to sit down all day, and I was standing up and stretching, and they'd be like, Amber, what are you doing? I'm like, I can't sit here for 6 hours. This is prison.
That's awful for your back. That's awful for your blood flow. Like sitting down. Like if you read anything about how like one of the biggest issues with being in an office is sitting for way too long periods of time.
People had morbid obesity, diabetes, eyesight loss,
yeah,
brain aneurysms.
I was crippled by my job. I had horrible back problems. It went away immediately the second I left.
Yeah.
Anyways, underhanded a fellow or counterpart has no problem lying and taking credit for my work. The kicker is the entire management team wants her gone due to the issues and drama she creates, but she's done such a good job of convincing the one person in senior leadership that she's indispensable and can't be let go. All right, keep a log of everything starting now. Keep a log of every fucking underhanded thing they do, every bullshit thing. You have to be diligent and you have to build a case for yourself. And the brighter side is you can totally stand up for yourself and you can totally fix this situation and get them the fuck out of there.
And also think about how chaotic or cathartic it's going to be to write down what they fucking did that
day,
you know?
just that'll be the first step of your brain not wanting to explode because of this person, and then hopefully the final step will be you taking everything in and presenting it. But it's going to take a little extra legwork, unfortunately. Eddie Tunes, I worked in the mailroom and I still went crazy working in an office. By the way, I'm so sorry if you're working in an office right now and we're making you feel miserable about it, because there are good things about it, and I would still rather work in an office than retail personally, because I can't deal with people like that on that level.
No, and you're getting a paycheck and you're not bathing in the river like my friend.
Yeah, and you're not, exactly. When I was unemployed and not doing anything about it and just depressed, I would take working in office over that year any day. That year was weird and awful. I would like just sleep all day, and like I was just I it's so funny how depression works when it's so hard to realize when you're fucked up.
Yeah, you don't until afterwards. You're like, I was depressed.
Like, why was I was sleeping all day. I was like I was just jerking off like 8 times. You know what I mean? It was just like insane. I'm like, why did I think that was at all appropriate or normal?
No, because you're in it. You're in the shit. Oh, shitty professor person again. He sexually harasses all the women in my office.
Okay, let me scroll. So I've been like here because we have so many coming in and I'm still catching up, and these are like the most current ones. But let's go to it. Oh wait, that was see, that's how far back we are. This is kind of nuts.
So, okay.
Shitty professor person again. He sexually harasses all the women in my program and sexualizes the women at work, no matter and is very transphobic. Oh, fun. My entire class is actually in the process of reporting him, and we have support from the oldest professor in the program. So that's definitely the brighter side of it.
Get that person out of there.
Yeah, for sure.
Teaching young minds.
For sure. All right. Unfortunately, I'm going to catch back up with chat here, which means if I missed yours from what we've just said, maybe just post it back in chat, because if you have a gripe or a grumble. We've got about 10 minutes left. This has flown by. Thank you again, everyone. And Amber, thank you again for doing this. This is so much fun. You're crushing it. 2019 is the year of canceling weird creep professors. Also, sorry I butchered my message. I sent it prematurely. You know, I think there's a lot of weird... I hate even using phrases like cancel culture, to be honest with you, but I do think that there are some good things about whatever that is, and it is these people, these legit people being called out. It is Cosby rotting away in a jail cell right now. It is. There are definitely some solid things surrounding it, as much as there are complaints to be had.
I need to shave my underarms. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're fine. You're
I was on a bus.
Post bus. Yeah. Jesus. Management is strange as a concept. I don't understand why people feel they can treat you with the least respect due to the fact that they have been there for longer. I'm reading a great book right now, Amber. You would love this book, I think. It's called Bullshit Jobs.
Ooh.
And it's this guy writing about how at least 30% of the workforce in America and the UK, at least, is what one would consider a fully bullshit job, where their job has no meaning. It is simply there because of some weird, just red tape nonsense.
You just gotta put the sticker on the box.
He breaks it down. Box checkers is one of them. Just people who just fill out endless forms that mean nothing. Stuff like that. And or people who just serve the purpose of making their higher up feel more important. And then there's the opposite too. Higher ups to give a reason for like a whole group to exist within the company as well, right? Yeah. And it's just completely meaningless, and most people are pretending to work for most of the day, and a ton of people, literally their job could not exist and the world would be in no way affected or different.
And those are usually the most judgmental kind of people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is judgment free zone, Amber, except for the Middle Spacer Man, that guy sucks.
Jen says, can you have Amber yell at me to just do stand-up? Yeah.
Do stand-up.
Yeah.
Why not? But do it. Just
this month, I
mic.
keep procrastinating because I keep trying workshopping my jokes I've written so far. You're not going to learn anything till you get on stage. And you've heard me say that to you a million times.
Just do it.
You just have to do it, unfortunately.
What's the worst going to happen? They're not going to, like, cut your head off and put it on a spit.
And here's the brighter side. I was actually listening to, I know this might be problematic for some people. I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast the other day, but he was talking about how he started out in stand-up, and I think what happened was he went, and also go to open mics and don't even get up, because you'll go and you'll see how fucking bad people are, and it'll happen to, I think, everybody. Well, I could do better than that fucking guy.
Yeah.
That is a feeling I've had every time I go to a stand-up show, if it's not like a pro-ass stand-up show, I have that moment even now where I'm like, why am I not doing this again? I'm definitely better than that person.
And they have the most confidence.
Yeah.
They always have the most confidence. I'm like, why are you confident? You shouldn't be confident.
Is there any advice, though, you could give to Jen starting out as someone just other than just go to an open mic? I mean, is there anything you would want to tell a young Amber?
A young stand-up. Write about your life. Write jokes that no one can steal because it's your personal life. There you go.
And Jen has so much personal stuff to talk about.
Also, read the Comedy Bible. That's a good book.
Look, I should read that maybe.
Yeah, people call it hack, but it's really just breaks down how to write a joke.
I think that's okay, and and people might call that hack all day, but I've listened to I'm fascinated by comedians, and all my life I have been, and so many of them said, oh, the first thing I did was I got this book.
Yeah.
Whether it be that one or a different one, that just sort of gave them a little intro breakdown. Right?
Yeah.
So, like, even if it's a mental thing more than anything else, it's just giving you, like, one little doorway into just getting up there and doing it without feeling completely helpless.
Yes.
You know? Yeah, that's good advice, Holden. I actually do the same thing, but in the form of sitting in other painters' critiques. It helps my own work for sure. Absolutely, seeing someone else's work, breaking it down.
Yeah.
As long as you always keep in mind, as a painter, as a stand-up, whatever it may be, to not get lost in too influenced by things around you, and to really try to tap into what is, like you said, your voice. I think this is true. You can correct me if I'm wrong. You know way more about stand-up than I do, having done it for much longer than me. But I think it's 1 to 2 to maybe 3 years to just find your own voice on stage. That's the only thing you need to be focused on. And then it's about getting that great 10 minutes, and then it goes on from there, right?
Yeah, 2 years in, you're going to be really confident. And then 3 or 4 years in,
you're going to realize how fucking terrible you are.
How stupid you were. Oh, no. Oh,
no. I like Joe because he will have a combo instead of motos fings shouting at each other, motherfuckers shouting at each other, maybe. True. The Greek guy who killed his mom was on the Doug Stanhope podcast? What?
Wait, what? Somebody killed their mom?
I don't know. Ryan Dykes, though. I got to read the person saying it first.
My teeth are yellow. I didn't brush my teeth last night.
Oh, it's fine. I love that we're almost finished and you're just now like, oh, I've got all these. But I think you're great. You're doing great. You look great today.
Thank you.
Remember Lexi? The first thing Lexi said to you was how great how pretty she thought you looked.
I just put on a coat and my tennis shoes and I went to upstate New York.
You smell fine.
Thank you. I didn't shower.
Yeah, you smell completely fine.
Toothbrush.
I was worried about my breath earlier because I've got intense coffee breath right now.
Oh, same.
Yeah, see, D. Thorpe, hair and unbrushed is the hotness. So there you go. Lexi is feeling a bit better. She's still a little under the weather, but I think at this point it's like kind of just like a low-level cold. Mm-hmm. All right, give us some of your gripes and your one or two more gripes, one or two more grimps, and we're going to get out of here. Anything you want.
The open micer who killed his mom.
I do not know. Oh, I think I remember. Why are you bringing that up? It's such a weird thing to bring up. He was on the stand-up podcast. I'm scared to listen. Oh God. Oh my God. Okay. Interesting. Eddie giving us the insight. I'm sorry, Ronnie Dykes, for questioning the truth behind what you said. Okay. I apologize for that.
They always kill their mothers. Every time. It's like mommy issues. And you're like, I killed my mother.
I know, isn't it so funny? Everyone's like, with women, it's like daddy issues, when like the mommy issues in men are like way more intense probably.
Oh yeah.
Brighter side of you not streaming during the day anymore. I'm so sorry, Momo. I will try to do more streams in the future. How about that? The brighter side is it's given me a lot more time to focus on, like, Page 7 pop history, if you're enjoying that, Momo, that probably wouldn't be able to happen if I was streaming during the day, things like that. I've been able to focus more on making other things great as opposed to making everything just okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Dude was from or in New York, right? He wasn't from NYC. Oh, this guy. All right. Hold on, I'm so bored of work now. I'm so sorry. Why don't other fucking people stream in the day? I mean, come on, guys. I gave my mom diabetes. Brighter side, says Eddie. You fed her?
Because he was so fat when he was born.
He was big, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Brighter side of giving your mother diabetes.
You know what? I think Ed found the only thing that there's just no brighter side of.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
Well, you gave her diabetes because you're just so sweet.
Yeah, you were just so sweet.
Inside that stomach, so you gave her diabetes.
That's the most bullshit Southern girl answer to a real fucking problem. You're just so sweet.
It's like a little sugar cube up in that stomach.
Yeah, the extra page 7 of Whisper content is made up for it. Thank you so much. Today we've got Nolan North and Troy Baker interview dropping, as well as the new page 7, and where I talk about my experience going to see SNL this past weekend, and my absolute pop idol Taylor Swift perform a song that's very meaningful to me because I got married earlier this year.
Aww.
I forget that. There's moments, dude, I ran a half marathon this fucking year, and I'm just like, how crazy is this year? Last year, like, nothing happened. This year, it's like, I got married, everyone died, I ran a half marathon, you know what I mean? It's just like, what the fuck is going on?
It's okay. You were
I prefer bigger years than
like
smaller
a
years.
baby being born.
Yes. Incubated. Everyone's just gonna start dying, dude.
Next year?
Now that we're getting to that age now.
I'm young.
You're young. I mean, no, I feel like maybe it's just because of this year. I'm like, oh, here it is. Now it's like everybody was having babies. Now everybody's fucking flip-flopping. I'd rather dying than babies, though. Because babies is just like, oh.
Well, now you're never going to speak to your friend. Well, I've got another 80 years left inside of me.
I think you definitely do. Like, I think we're all gonna live a lot longer than we even
want to.
Ever want to. Yeah, we're gonna feel like vampires by the end of life. We're gonna be like, just end it. What do I have to do? Give me the wooden stake.
Make a baby, Holden, and end your fun life.
Will do. Yeah, I do. Lexi super duper wants to be like we couldn't have been married if I wasn't down. Yeah. But we recently actually did, and a lot of chat probably knows about this, but we recently did we did a full round of the tests and stuff just because her biological shit, she's super concerned about it, and my fucking jizz is rip rocking.
Oh.
And I was so worried because you know how much I enjoy the Metahoons. Mm-hmm. I was worried they were all going to be like, bouncing into each other. My fists are sperm right now for people watching.
Wearing Fish concert t-shirts.
Yes, exactly. Are you going to go to Shakedown Street and get some shrooms with me before the show?
A cigarette?
Exactly. One of those. Holden doesn't have to-do lists. He has to-don't lists. All right, am I being roasted by the fucking... by Ed Larson right now? So many little Holdenators in that jizz, and Lexi's eggs are fucking straight up fucking
sweet.
Poached. Yeah, they're good to go. They're delish.
I think my eggs might be running out, which is sad because I want kids.
It bums me the fuck out, this biological clock pressure. It is so frustrating to me, and the imbalance between men and women, and the fact there still is not birth control for men, like all these things, and the fact that I could live into my 40s and marry some fucking 24-year-old and pump fucking 8 kids out, if I want to as a man, but like a woman, you have to worry about your career in all these dumb ways because of that, if that's what you want to do.
3 spooky eggs left. It's just 3 women that are like, are we still here?
They're haunted eggs. They're just like, they're all a little like crooked and no, I think you'll be fine. And honestly, I think the science is getting better and better. So
I just gotta have an 8-year-long relationship. I'm trying to find myself. And my mom is like, "Where's the grandchildren?"
Right.
And I'm like, "But I need to."
I hate, and that pressure makes me crazy, and I don't get it as a man, and y'all get it so much. Also, and obviously adopt, and I think I would be completely fine if Lexi had a broken uterus. I would be completely fine with.
But a lot of those adopted kids grow up and they're like, "I had trauma."
They're like that Creek guy they were talking about earlier. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I think that's gonna call it. I don't know if we didn't really get a last grump. We just talked about fertility and shit. This has been so much fun. I guess the brighter side of not being able to conceive in older age as a woman is you can always adopt, and that's the last brighter side we will we'll give out today. How do you feel doing it this way, giving out brighter sides like lightning round style?
I love it.
Isn't this
great.
cool?
Yeah.
You should come back and do this.
Thank
and
you.
it would be great also to have you and Ed at the same time if you're ever both in New York. But anytime you're in New York, always, I love doing these with Ed, and this was fantastic to do with you. So always hit me up.
This is so interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but I'm so happy.
I know people come over and they're just like, "What the fuck?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, it's like the future."
It's the future. I feel like the future just happened so quick. Getting pregnant is not easy. Don't give up. And my wife took 4 years to the point where we were going to call it, and baby girl then showed another following year.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So there you go.
I have a 7-year-old. You can have him. I'll take him.
And thanks, Ed, for jumping into chat and saying what's up to us as well. We're gonna get out of here. Take care, everybody. We'll see you again next time.
I'm gonna go to Astoria Fish House, Eddie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wish I could join. Some shit
I'm gonna take some pictures and I'll put them on Instagram later.
So do it.
Amber Smelson, follow me.
Amber Smelson. Follow Amber Smelson. Is there anything else? Is there that you want to say before we get out?
Peace and love.
Peace and love, little babies. That's our sign off line now.
Just bathe in a river.
But go bathe in a river, you tiny babies. Peace and love. Take care, everybody.